despite the fact that the Bitcoin price has been trending upwards for well over a year, can the crypto fear and greed index tell us that there is more room for upside? Hello everyone, my name is J1 General and welcome back to another cryptocurrency video. If you like this type of content, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, as it always makes help the channel grow. If you are a fan of cryptocurrency, which I assume you are because you are watching this video, I have a cryptocurrency shop where you can shop cryptocurrency products, where every product is 5% off. I'll leave a link in the description down below so you can do some shopping. So, in today's video, we will be discussing and analyze the crypto fear and greed index. Now, this is actually a topic that I teach in my cryptocurrency course because I believe that this tool or metric is valuable for a cryptocurrency investor. Regardless if you are a beginner or a veteran within cryptocurrency, this tool will always help you. Why? Let me explain. The fear and greed index measures the market sentiment. Yeah, it measures emotionality, and we're going to get into the breakdown of what makes up these values. But as you can see today, right now, we are currently sitting at a level of 70, which marks a level of greed. If the fear and greed index is 75 or above, that is extreme greed. If the level is between 50 and 70, I believe this is greed. If the level is around 50, it's neutral, which is marked as yellow. If the level marks between 50 and 30, I believe it is fear, which then gets into this orange side. And if you are below 25, then that measures extreme fear. Now, a lot of investors like to say or like to use the psychological fact of buying when there is fear and then selling when there is greed. You know, a lot of famous investors say that, such as Warren Buffett, the late Warren Buffett, I should say. But in some historical values, right now we're experiencing greed. Yesterday we're experiencing greed. Last week we was experiencing greed. And last month we was experiencing greed. You can see that the figure has sort of stalled out around this 72, 68, 70 level. But if we just kind of look at the Bitcoin price chart, and I'm kind of stunned and kind of shocked in a way. Why? Because the Bitcoin price has essentially gone up ever since November 22 up until now, where we are in January of 2024. Bitcoin has managed, and if we take a ruler, Bitcoin has managed essentially up until the price right now a 180% move, yeah, in just a year. 180% move in just a year. And that's just Bitcoin. You have altcoins doing 5x, 10x, 20x. You've got meme coins doing 100x. You've got crazy microcaps doing 1000x. You know, over the course of the last year or so, everything's been going up for the last year or so. So I beg the question, how have we not, especially during this time of crazy volatility, in the last 3 months especially, how have we not hit that extreme level at least once? We have not touched that 75 level to signify extreme greed in the market, when price is going up, everything's going crazy, the whole timeline on X is just bullish, the sentiment is just euphoric. How have we not touched that 75 level? So this makes me think, okay, if we've gone up this much and we haven't touched the 75 level, what will it take for the fear and greed index to actually touch that 75 level? So that's why I kind of believe or have a psychological effect of that the Bitcoin price could go higher into those extreme greeds. And once we reach that peak euphoria, that is when a reversal could happen. I actually like this website, guys. I'll put a link in the description down below so you can have a look at this yourself. But if we take a look at the crypto fear and greed index over time, it even states that where a value of 0 means extreme fear and a value of 100 represents extreme greed. I don't think we've actually touched 0 or 100 before. Yeah, I can see. This is the max chart ever since the chart was created back in the 1st of Feb 2018. We have not touched 0 and we have not touched 100. If we actually take a look at this chart on the 7 days, again, as above, you can see that we're relatively flat. If we look at the month, again, we're relatively flat, sitting between that 60 and 73 level. I mean, the highest we've probably gone is 74. 74 is 1 basis point just behind extreme greed. If we take a look at the 3-month time frame, guys, you can see that we were ranging between 50 and 74 again. If we take a look at the yearly, and as discussed on the yearly, Bitcoin's been going up for the whole year, literally. We can see that this time last year we was actually at extreme fear. So the 9th of Jan was at extreme fear. What an opportunity to buy, huh? Which was essentially around the bottom or the lows of the bear market. You can see we've been ranging, and we've gotten to October here, where price in Q4 of 2023 of the pre-halving year, the fear and greed index has stalled around that 70 level, even though price has gone supersonic, which is just crazy. So again, I asked the question, like, what will it take Bitcoin to go above that 75 level? Will it be the narrative of the spot ETF, which could get approved at any moment right now? Or will it be the narrative of the halving? We're going to look at historical fear and greed index prices, and then we're going to overlay that with the Bitcoin price to see what it could take for Bitcoin to reach those levels. But let's come back to this chart, and let's look at why we should measure fear and greed. In a nutshell, extreme fear can be a sign that investors are too worried. That is most likely a buying opportunity. When investors are getting too greedy, that means the market is due for a correction, which is when investors like to sell. Therefore, we analyze the current sentiment of Bitcoin market and crunch the numbers into a simple meter from 0 to 100, etc. Now, the data sources, where does this website or where does this metric, how does the data get pulled into one? And 25% of it is measured using the volatility. Yeah. The average values of the last 30 days and 90 days, we argue that an unusual rise in volatility is a sign of a fearful market. We all know that cryptocurrency is a very volatile asset class, so this must hold weight with regards to the data that is getting pulled to show the values. Market momentum and volume within the market, so the amount of buying or selling, or the momentum of where the price, the direction of where the price is going. Again, in comparison with the last 30 to 90 day average values, put those two values together. Generally, when we see high buying volumes in a positive market on a daily basis, we conclude that the market acts overly greedy to bullish. Social media is another tool used to pull the data. Again, market momentum and volume holds 25%. So volatility, momentum and volume make up 50% of this metric. Social media makes up 15%. So social media, just like Instagram, X, Facebook, Google, ads, just everything that sort of mentions the word Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, or any crypto related business product, etc. You could even have stocks that relate to crypto like Coinbase and Mara, etc. So when social media is getting ridiculously high interaction rates, it results in public interest in the coin, and in our eyes corresponds to greedy market behavior. Market dominance, surveys is currently paused right now, so we won't look into that, but the dominance of a coin resembles the market cap share of the whole crypto market, especially for Bitcoin. So they take into consideration the Bitcoin dominance. A lot of people don't look at Bitcoin dominance as a metric, but as I've said in previous videos, understanding the Bitcoin dominance will 100% make you a better trader and a better cryptocurrency investor in the short term and in the long term. If you understand this metric, you understand crypto trading. That's it. That's a fact. And trends. So this is kind of similar to social media. They pull Google Trends for various Bitcoin related search queries and crunch these numbers, etc. So that is essentially what makes up the fear and greed index. If we go back to the index over time and we take a look at the max chart, we can see, so from 2018 till now, this is what the chart essentially pulls out. So we're going to look at times of extreme fear and we're going to look at times of extreme greed. With this metric, guys, the reason why you can't take this metric to the bank and use it as 100% or essentially use this metric as a tool for for just only this tool for just investing, why you should use other tools as well, is because just like the RSI metric on a chart, you can spend elevated amount of times in greed and elevated amount of times in fear. Yeah, it's not a thing of where as soon as you hit extreme greed, as soon as you hit that 75 level, you need to sell like straight away, because we can spend elevated amount of times in extreme greed where price can go higher and then you would have missed out on higher prices, and vice versa for extreme fear. We can spend vast amount of majority of times in extreme fear. So as soon as we get to a fear and greed index of 25, doesn't mean you should click the buy button, because we could go lower in the short term. But the general consensus is you should start DCAing once, and DCAing I mean dollar cost averaging. You should dollar cost averaging once you start to see the index, around that extreme fear, and then start to DCA out when we start to reach that extreme greed level of 75 and above. You just keep it simple, guys. It's literally just keep it simple. So if we take a look at the chart, and we'll actually take a look from 2019 onwards, because 2018 was essentially a bear market, but 2019, if you guys remember, we had a crazy pump from the bottom of the bear market halfway through into the year. We actually had nearly a 5x move. It was like a 4x move from the bottom of the bear market to a mid-cycle top. So what did the fear and greed index look like then? Well, from the beginning of the year in 2019, the crypto fear and greed index was actually around that 30 level. And then when we reached the Pico top in 2019, so in June of 2019, the fear and greed index actually hit 92, which is one of the highest levels we've actually seen, which is on par with the Pico top of the last bull market. So with that being said, you can see that we hit extreme greed multiple times in May of 2019. So where was the price in May of 2019? Well, in May 2019, price was around $700. It was around this range. Let me get my brush. It was around this range right here. So as I said before, if you were to sell around this level, but you bought around the 30 level, yeah, you would have made a decent amount of money. There's no taking it away from you there. But just because we hit extreme greed around these level, guys, doesn't mean that we won't go higher, which is why I believe we will go higher in the short term from Bitcoin in today's day and age. You can see we actually trekked up quite a bit higher. It was around the 8k level when we did hit extreme greed, and then Bitcoin actually went all the way up to 14k. So from 8k to 14k, that's over a 50% move. So you would have missed out on 50% gains, over 50% gains, if you sold as soon as we hit extreme greed. Now, if we take a look at the market when the pandemic hit, so this point in time right here in March of 2020, I know everyone remembers that date. If we go to March of 2020, you can see that the crypto fear and greed index was 11. Yeah, 11. And that would have been a prime opportunity to buy. Probably the best time to ever buy in cryptocurrency. If you was lucky enough to buy that dip, congratulations. But if we take a look at the chart, price actually dipped more than how big was this dip? I mean, from the top here, from the Pico top in 2019 until the moment it crashed, it was around 70%. But if we actually take it from the lower high peak, price dropped around 63%. So it was a 60 to 70% drop. But if we take a look at the fear and greed in Feb of 2020, where's Feb? Right here. So around Feb, we was in levels of greed. The index was at 61. Yeah. But you can see as soon as the pandemic hit, it dropped all the way down. I mean, it even went down to 8 or 9, which is quite significant, because that would have been a prime opportunity to buy, as recently said. If we then go back to the last cycle bull market, you can see we had two peaks. We had one in April of 2021 and we had one in November of 2021. we can see here that in the beginning of 2021, end of 2020, the crypto fear and greed index was at highs of 94, which is crazy. 95 even was, I believe, the highest we went to. But this date, again, this was around December and January. If we take a look at December and January, that is these levels right here. So again, just because we've reached significant levels in the fear and greed index doesn't mean the price can go a little bit higher or a little bit lower. Because if you sold back then at extreme levels of greed at 95, which is significant, you would have still missed out on this move right here. Even though the market was overheated, you would have missed out on this move over here. So as I've analyzed this now and I analyzed the past charts, where does that leave us today? What does this mean for the Bitcoin price going forward? As mentioned, we have two narratives which could spark higher prices at any time, any moment in time. We have the Bitcoin spot ETF and we have the Bitcoin halving narrative. The more reason why I lean to the Bitcoin halving narrative sparking a significant cycle top, mid-cycle top, is because around the Bitcoin halving, that is when the Fed is expected to cut rates for the first time. And it was in last cycle in 2019 when the Fed cut rates for the first time. That is when the price for Bitcoin topped mid-cycle. So that's all more the reason why to believe that we might not top now from the Bitcoin spot ETF narrative, but we might top in around the halving time. So back to the fear and greed index. We've been ranging around this 65 to 74 level ever since October. So there is room for optimism to grow within the market. There is room because we're only at that 74 level. You know, last cycle, yeah, in 2019, we actually went up to that 92 level. So there is still room for optimism to grow, which is why I think the Bitcoin price could increase in Q1 in the next couple of months. Yeah, I do believe that Bitcoin price could increase because there is room for optimism to grow. At the same time, we've spent this whole year as in 2023 going up, and the crypto fear and greed index has stalled at greed levels for a significant amount of time. We don't have to go to these extreme greed levels to expect a pullback. You know, we could get a pullback right now and then go back to fearful levels and spend a significant amount of time in fearful levels. We don't have to go to extreme greed for everyone to then start thinking, okay, a reversal is going to happen. This is crypto, guys. A reversal can happen at any time. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market makers, they do not care what the crypto fear and greed index is. This is just a tool just to help you and assist you assess what the market sentiment is in this current moment of time. So can we go up? Yes. Can we go down? Yes. But you can use this tool to your advantage. That's it from me today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, as it always makes help the channel grow. And as always, it's been your boy J1 General. Thank you. Bye.